How's it going, VC? Good to see ya. So today I want to do a video and talk about 5 albums that, for whatever reason, people seem to have fallen out of love with in the last 10 years. Used to be, you could make the argument that this is my favorite album by this particular artist. Now, if you say that, people will laugh at you, or they will scoff, or they will mutter under their breath, what a fool you are, or they will leave a nasty comment. Anyway, I'm not sure why, because I think these are fantastic albums. But like I say, times change, and these albums have fallen out of favor. Okay, first album, Pink Floyd, The Wall. Yeah, try to tell somebody that your favorite Pink Floyd album is The Wall, and they will shame you. And they'll call into question your credibility as a member of the VC, as a record collector, as a Pink Floyd fan, whatever the case may be. And I don't understand why. This is, to me anyway, one of the best Pink Floyd albums. What's not to like? I mean, you got Another Brick on the Wall, you got Mother, you got Goodbye Blue Sky, Comfortably Numb, Run Like Hell. And I know it's a double album. At times it seems a bit bloated, but it's a concept album. And for me, I never get tired of listening to this album. I don't feel that there's any filler on here. Yeah, I don't mind The Trial. I don't mind One of My Turns. I don't mind Don't Leave Me Now. You know, I know that side 2, at the end of side 2, it does get a little depressing. But still, it's all in keeping with the theme of the album. But, you know, no, it's not progressive rock. It's not Animals. It's not Wish You Were Here. But Pink Floyd, and I've made this case before about other progressive rock bands, you have to adapt. In 1979, stuff like Animals, stuff like, you know, those long extended suites, like Shine On You Crazy Diamond, Echoes, those longer progressive rock masterpieces were not going to fly. They were not going to get on the radio. People were not going to be buying albums with just that sound, that early 70s stuff that people really enjoyed by Pink Floyd. If you wanted to stay relevant, if you wanted to keep your record contract, if you wanted people to keep on buying your records, if you wanted to broaden your audience, yeah, you had to sell out a little bit. You know, Another Brick in the Wall had a disco beat on it, but still one of Pink Floyd's best songs. Sue me, shoot me, I don't care. But The Wall is a fantastic album. I mean, I don't mind, like, is there anybody out there? Vera Lynn, I think, is a fantastic track. So anyway, Pink Floyd, The Wall, for anybody who cares. Young Lust with the phone call, which actually is, I think, something that actually happened, if I'm not mistaken, to Roger Waters. His wife was fooling around on him, and he found out when he went and called home. Presumably he was on tour and called home, and some stranger answered the phone. So anyway, Hey You, the first song on side 2, is an incredible album. It didn't make the movie. I'm not sure exactly why. I think for whatever reason, they couldn't shoehorn it into the movie, but still one of the greatest Pink Floyd songs. Okay, number 2, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Used to be, you could say, Sgt. Pepper's my favorite Beatles album, and people would be like, you're right. Now, you say that, and people are like, well, what about Abbey Road? No, it's the White Album. No, it's Revolver. Sgt. Pepper doesn't even appear on some people's top 20 list of all time. It doesn't even fall in some people's top 5 Beatles albums anymore. What the hell happened? I have no idea. This is a great album, and it was so groundbreaking at the time when this came out. I mean, you think about even Revolver, what the Beatles had done. You still on Revolver, you still had songs that were kind of in that old Beatles way of recording. You know, songs like Here, There, and Everywhere, even to an extent like I'm Only Sleeping, even though it had the backwards effects, but still, And Your Bird Can Sing, you know, and then you have this, and it's just a light year leap for the Beatles. I mean, you got the title track, which Jimi Hendrix covered immediately after the album came out, With a Little Help from My Friends. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, one of John Lennon's best compositions. And another one of, this might be my favorite Beatles song of all time. A Day in the Life. Just such packed with great moments on this album. If it's not your favorite, I'm not here to say it should be. I'm not here to say any of these should be your favorites, but I'm just saying don't throw shade on these albums because it's the popular thing to do. Ooh, I can sound very cool as a record collector if I crap on Sgt. Pepper, or oh, it's not that impressive. It's that impressive. And unfortunately, in today's day and age, it's hard to really appreciate that because we've heard everything that has come out since, and we don't get the advantage of only having heard everything that was released up to this point. But I am telling you, Getting Better. Getting Better is another fantastic track on here. And it's really kind of the last Beatle album where they were all working as a unit. They were all on the same page. They were helping each other out with their songs, and there were contributions. And I know that happened to some extent on the other albums, but this was kind of the last time where it was all for one, one for all, and they were a unified band. The bickering hadn't set in. The cracks hadn't started to form in the foundation. So Sgt. Pepper's just Lovely Rita. Lovely Rita is a standout track on here. And I know people tend to think it's like a deeper track, but I still love that one. So Sgt. Pepper. Fixing a Hole. Fixing a Hole with that excellent guitar solo. It's, people, is it a drug reference? It's really not a drug reference, but I love the trippy imagery that Paul uses. I love kind of that harpsichord intro on the beginning. Just brilliant. All right, next. Being for the benefit of Mr. Kite as well. You've never heard a John composition like that before or since. Great song. Number 3, Destroyer by Kiss. Yeah, again, tell somebody this is your favorite Kiss album and they will laugh in your face, or they'll roll their eyes, or they'll walk away from you. But, I never understood. It's not my favorite Kiss album, but I do enjoy it. I do appreciate it. And, it's kind of ironic. We have 2 Bob Ezrin produced albums here on my list. But, most people kind of feel like this was Kiss selling out. This is Kiss getting away from, their harder edge sound, and they were softening their sound. But no, a little bit. You got Beth on here, which certainly is a departure from anything that they had done before. But Detroit Rock City, where they celebrate the greatest city in all of America. God of Thunder, one of Gene's greatest songs. Flaming Youth is a great Ace track. Shout It Out Loud. And I know it was them kind of trying to do another rock and roll all night, but still, there's some strong, solid songs on here. Do You Love Me? Another one. Kiss classic. And no, like I say, it's not my favorite, but it's definitely in my top 3 discussion there. So, okay, 4th album I want to show is Paranoid. Yeah, I don't know why this album has fallen so out of favor. An album that has Iron Man, an album that has War Pigs on it, an album that basically invented punk rock with Paranoid. This album is a masterpiece from start to finish, but it seems now to be in vogue. Like, well, I'm going to pick Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, which happens to be my own personal favorite. I'm talking to myself here, too. I'm not saying I'm exempt from dropping these albums down from the pedestal that they used to be on. But still, can somebody at least say this is their favorite Black Sabbath album? For crying out loud, the stuff on here, Planet Caravan is amazing. Hand of Doom is great. So I don't know. And not to say the other Sabbath albums aren't great. Volume 4 is great. Sabotage is excellent. The first album is awesome. Master of Reality is great. But I'm just saying, I don't know. It used to be Paranoid was always everybody's go-to album, and now it's sort of slipped down for a lot of people. I'm not sure if it's overexposure, but it is what it is. And then lastly, and you may disagree with this one, but, talking about Pet Sounds, I see a lot of Beach Boy fans now trying to be like, well, is Pet Sounds really as great as we thought it was? How about the Friends album? How about Sunflower? How about You Knock It Off? Pet Sounds is the greatest goddamn album the Beach Boys ever released. And if you're going to try and convince me otherwise, you're a fool, okay? Pet Sounds, like Sgt. Pepper, was groundbreaking when it came out, and it is still the best thing the Beach Boys ever put out. This was Brian Wilson at the height of his power. You got Wouldn't It Be Nice on here. You Still Believe in Me. I mean, you don't hear harmonies like this or chord progressions like this on any other album, Beach Boys or otherwise. God Only Knows. Caroline No, which was originally a Brian Wilson solo song, but it's just a heartbreakingly brilliant track. Sloop John B, which doesn't even belong on this album, but is still a solid song. I'm Waiting for the Day. Let's Go Away for a While. You can't name a weak track on here. It's awesome. So anyway, that's my list. Let me know if you disagree, if you've got a reason why it's not your number one. I'm not here to hate on anybody. I'm not here to, say these ought to be your favorites. I'm just saying, what happened? Why have these albums kind of dropped from where they used to be? Even Rolling Stone lists, these used to be higher up on Rolling Stone lists, and even now they're kind of, falling. But don't get me started on Rolling Stone top 500 lists. Because you think I'm angry now. You have no idea. Anyway, all right. Hope you're doing great. Have a great weekend and take care.